to that.
And welcome back to another episode of At the 8th Spot. I'm Wilson.
I'm Mark.
I'm Jay. I'm Eric.
Hey guys, how's everyone?
We're good.
Good.
It's been so long.
I
It's almost
know.
like I've been wearing the same sweater. What a coincidence.
Exactly.
On that camera, I'm looking at no one.
There are people watching.
No.
God, tell us there are people
No, I
watching.
mean, you're off screen on that camera, so I'm just looking
I'm not
at
even on that camera?
No.
No, you're
I
on
don't
that
know
camera.
why I do this show. Oh, okay, I'm on a camera.
I told you, that's your camera.
All
That's
right,
my camera?
No, you don't get to keep it.
When I leave, I can take that camera?
No.
motherfucker. All right, so what are we talking about today?
We're talking about Deadpool.
Man, that movie was good. Favorite pegging scene I've ever seen in a movie?
Really?
I don't know why I'm staring at Jay when I say that.
I don't either. I want you to explain yourself.
Uh,
I have a
favorite-
question. What's pegging?
Yeah.
Let me tell you what pegging is. I'm still looking.
Ladies
up
and
cam-
gentlemen, this might be a rated R podcast.
Pegging
Like
is basically
Deadpool.
the act of a female strapping on a dildo to have anal intercourse with a male.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah, that's pegging. I only think it's in Deadpool. I don't know if there's another movie that had that. Because
Well, no, there are. They're just not on. I don't think they're R-rated. They're just on my
I
hard
don't believe
drive.
they're I don't believe they're Marvel movies.
I mean,
There's your R rating,
they
everybody.
didn't really make it to the MPAA today for review.
I think that'd be the best joke in the world. Take a
Well-
full-on porno and submit it to the MPAA.
Did you hear about the guy who submitted a movie of just paint drying? I think it's 8 hours long. It's the UK version of the MPAA. I forget what it's called, but he basically submitted a movie, and by law they have to review it and basically sit there for 8 hours and watch. And
You should have
You
just inserted like some cock
You
shots.
know,
well, the guy
some poor
did.
intern ended up having to watch that.
No, they have to, but they have to sign off on it. Unfortunately,
So George Clooney is sitting. I don't know who's part of the MPAA.
It's not even the United. It's the UK version. It's just some
So it's
guy.
like Sir Ian
Oh,
McKellen. Wait. You guys are glossing over. Do you know what the MPAA is?
Not at all. Don't bang the table, Jay.
I know,
All
I
right.
couldn't help
All right.
it.
No. Hold on.
Like I said.
No. Hold on. Stop. What do you think the MPAA? If you had to guess, if you had to take an educated guess right now, what do you think the MPAA
Based
is?
on the context clues of
Exactly.
this
You
conversation.
don't have to tell us what MPAA stands for, but what do you think it is? What service do they
What do
provide?
they do?
Yes.
They play Magic the Gathering all day, and then they decide what movies they want to pick because it was a remake of some old movie.
All right.
Or they could be actors who are part of this system that's
Okay.
rating themselves.
So
Rating?
wait.
Not
So,
rating, but basically saying that, I wasn't cast in this, so I give it an S.
so that's a rating, first of all, or
Okay.
grading. So you think that like the
Okay,
actors...
I believe it's, I would guess
Okay.
it's the industry
Okay.
reviewing this from their peers to make whatever decision they have to make to be part
What kind of
of.
decision do you think they have to make?
Do you think this is kind of like the Oscars?
No. What kind of decision do you think has to be derived from this?
The decision would have to be what rating they're giving it.
You mean like a
R rating,
Oh, okay.
or if it, that's what I'm guessing.
But you
it's
think
for.
it's people in the industry, like fellow actors and stuff like that?
I guess something.
Oh,
I have no idea. I wasn't paying attention to the beginning of the conversation.
The minute
in
he
the
stopped
first
talking,
place.
he was gone.
yeah, I was like, oh,
Once I
pretty good.
introduced myself, I went off to another world.
I mean, you're not too far off, honestly.
Yeah.
You're not too far off. Eventually, you got to the right place. But it is not...
It took a long time
It
to
did,
get
right,
there.
yeah,
And
exactly.
we took the
The
scenic route. And the people who he has doing the jobs, way the fuck off.
Yeah.
That's
it's
so
a separate
wrong.
industry from people involved in the movies. It's totally separate people. Like, people involved in making the movies have nothing to do with... The people who are rating it have nothing to do with making the movies. Or
And vice
making of
versa.
any movies. Correct.
So that's why a lot of movies have poor ratings because these people don't know what they're doing.
I think that they're inconsistent is probably the problem that I see with it. A great example that I can bring
If
up...
people exploding on the screen gets a different rating than someone breastfeeding.
Let me tell you the story that Matt Parker and Trey Stone from South Park fame did regarding when they created Orgasmo. When they did Orgasmo, they submitted to the MPAA because they wanted the rating to be R because they wanted to at least be able to distribute
I
it
know
for
the story.
movies. All right, so then you can look away. So they wanted to distribute it for movies, but when they distributed, the MPAA said, can't give it an R rating. It's going to have an NC-17 movie. So they bounce back and say like, all right, well, what needs to be changed in order for us to get an R rating? And the MPAA says that no, that's not what we do, because then that's bordering on censorship. We can't tell you what to change. We can just tell you that what you're showing right now is a movie that would get an NC-17 rating. It's like, all right, fine. So unfortunately, I think they had to go with just like unrated or whatever before, and so couldn't get the
I
distribution.
thought they submitted a harsher film.
Stop.
No.
You're ahead of the story.
You're jumping ahead of the story.
You're ahead of the story.
So you don't know the story, so pay attention.
So what they did was like when they got in line with doing the South Park movie, they would send these scenes in for like whatever, and the MPAA said like at first like, we can't give this an R rating, it's too much. So I think not Fox, was it Fox Studio?
I don't know if it's Fox or Paramount.
Regardless, the studio that's involved with
Distribution?
the distribution of the movie goes back. The major studio goes, okay, what do we need to change? And the MPAA goes back, all right, at 28 minutes in, this needs to, at 16 minutes in, this needs to be changed. At 14 minutes, it's too much. So they basically gave a very detailed list of everything that needed to be changed. So what they did is because, they already came from having the bullshit they had to deal with for Orgasmo, they were so pissed. Every scene that needed to be changed, they made it even more absurd and more ridiculous and more graphic or whatever. And they eventually said, okay, that's fine. It was almost like they didn't even bother to watch it and check it out. Because even the scene where like Satan is fucking Saddam Hussein came out about because of how...
I think that would be a better pegging scene.
Yeah, that might be better pegging. Well, that's not pegging.
No, does it have to be a female?
Yeah, it has to be a
Why?
female. Because
That's
gay
sexist.
sex. Well, it's gay sex. It's how you categorize it.
Huh?
It's gay sex. It's how you categorize it. It just... If two dudes... He's not wearing a... He's gonna put a fucking...
He
strap on
needs
it.
a dildo.
Look,
But
Mark
he's-
knows the terms, so he knows what he's talking
Does he have a
about.
hollow strap on? He puts his dick in a dildo?
There are strap-ons where you can put your dick through a hole, and then there's also what's called...
No, apparently Eric's our gay expert.
Huh?
Jade's over here silently judging and going,
You're
know
both
nothing."
wrong.
Well, anyway,
He's got one in his closet.
I'll show you. Well, anyway, basically, just to let the end of the story is basically like all these ridiculous scenes that happened in South Park were because the MPAA bounced back
They
and
actually issued a thank you to the MPAA. And I mean, like, what's called... It was funny because, like, it was almost like the MPAA was stupid because
Was?
they made certain jokes that were...
at their expense almost.
No, that were a little bit more intelligent, and they didn't get them. So, like, what's called... For example, the original title was South Park Goes to Hell or From Hell or something like that.
Yeah.
Said you can't have hell in the title. All right. Well, I don't know because we have Hellraiser and all that other stuff, but fuck it. All right, so they did bigger, longer, uncut, which is a dick joke. But you have to figure that out, that it's a dick joke to know that. So they might have just not grasped that joke and stuff like that.
Well, they also had, it's unrelated, but the original title for The Rundown was supposed to be called Heldorado, and they dropped it back because they wanted to keep a PG-13 rating.
Right.
Yeah, so they changed it to The Rundown.
Yeah.
I think it was always like Welcome to Heldorado or something like that.
Yeah. It's so weird that what's called...
It's a rock movie, Sean William Scott. It was okay.
I enjoyed it.
It was okay. It was
I
good.
enjoyed
It was
it.
an enjoyable movie.
Well, Christopher Walken, making fun of Christopher Walken was one of the best things I've ever seen.
I
now
feel
I
like-
want to see this. Oh, you never saw it?
I don't think I've
I
seen
feel,
it
like,
either.
I feel like a kid who's two burglars come in and taken my tooth when the tooth fairy is supposed to take it. They've taken my tooth, and he's trying to explain.
People know what,
Spanish.
translate this. Christopher Walken's speech pattern, he emphasizes it even more for this role. So he's basically spoofing himself.
Yeah,
It's fucking great.
it's an enjoyable movie. I like it.
Well, no, I'm talking about that scene.
Yeah.
Christopher Walken, I think, was worth the price of the tickets.
Yeah. The action sequences are pretty cool. I liked. And it's one of those things I've been saying as a trend in movies is that like the opening, if it's an action movie, the opening action sequence is so big that I feel like the rest of the movie doesn't live up to the opening action sequence. Another example of that is like,
Wouldn't that be all the James Bond movies?
well, yeah, that's
It always opens with
a huge action
sequence.
Well, that's a I don't know if I'm not a fan of that because like X-Men 2, when Nightcrawler is like bamfing all over the place, which I thought was an amazing scene, and the rest of the movie, I mean, it had decent action, but I don't think it lived up to that.
I think
scene.
I think that's a slightly different problem because that's a power level issue for me.
Yeah.
You just basically showed this guy who was strong enough to go in and take out all the Secret Service and stuff like that. Any other issue he has throughout the movie, it's gonna seem like, wait a minute, I just saw this guy take out 50 people.
Well, he was also mind controlled.
He does the same thing with Quicksilver.
Yeah.
in Days of Future Past.
Well, that was inconsistent.
That doesn't make it good.
I'm saying it.
The
It's
power
happened again.
level.
No, I'm saying that's a problem. You're just giving me another example of that problem.
That's what I did.
Oh, okay. It sounded.
He's on his side.
Your
He's on his
tone-
side.
You.
Your tone sounded like it was contradictory.
I'm
It's because he's white.
I'm just saying something Brian Singer. It's something Brian Singer does.
So I got a text from Ryan Reynolds. We haven't been talking about Deadpool, though we opened about Deadpool.
Fuck him.
All right.
I'm gonna peg him.
He already did that in the movie.
Yeah.
Huh? I didn't do that.
No, he already got pegged in the
No,
movie. I believe that's how we started.
We're pegging. Jay, tell us about pegging. No, sorry. No. We know
I
what
think
it is.
you discussed it enough.
Okay.
So back to
But
Deadpool.
other things did happen in that movie too.
Yeah, it was actually. I thought that was a very well done movie.
Yeah.
The best Colossus any X-Men movie.
Yeah, the
what's
coloring. I don't know what they did, but the coloring on him was amazing. I thought it was the best.
He looked real. He wasn't shiny and new.
Yeah.
He looked like...
He looked very cartoony, I think.
Yes.
Which
And
that's
that's
fine.
what-
But I think
okay.
it worked for that character. I mean,
It worked
for a
this
character like
Yeah.
Colossus, you need him to be over the top. To be the Colossus we've read in the comics.
Right.
To me, he was more of the comic Colossus
Well, what's
than
called
the other previous movies where he would like...
visually.
shiny, chromy
Visually,
Silver
he
Surfer.
definitely was.
Yeah.
Character-wise, I'm not sure if I agree with that, but like visually, he definitely was. I never seen Colossus.
Well, I mean,
No, character-wise, I think it worked. I mean,
Well, they
I think
that's
it was
over the top.
that's his character in a Deadpool movie compared to being in the Deadpool universe. But I think he was still true to form, Colossus.
Yeah, I think an
you
argument.
can make it. Yeah, either way. I had no
By
problems with it.
the way, I'm not saying I didn't enjoy the character
Okay.
because like I just saw Justice League War, and there's a lot of shit that's wrong in there. I
have
enjoyed
not
it.
seen it.
But there's a lot of shit wrong. Like, the costumes are wrong. Captain Marvel goes by the name Shazam, which is weird to me, because he says, "Hi, I'm Shazam," which
Okay.
should not be able to do, because Shazam turns off his
I
powers.
think they've renamed him in the comics to Shazam. Haven't they?
I don't know. I'm not reading the comics,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so I don't know.
But I don't. But this. All right. But this.
It might be true to form to that Justice League War comic that it comes from.
I have no idea. Like, there was a lot of. Wonder Woman is completely and totally ignorant of American culture and stuff like that. Like, what's called, she discovers ice cream, and it's like, what's called, what the hell? And like, it's the happiest she's ever
They
been.
may not have ice cream on Terrace Mirror.
Well, no, it's probably just playing up on the.
What?
Temescara.
Okay.
But again, like, what's called,
Tiramisu.
Yeah, I don't know what they did with her costume. That was weird. Why'd they change it so much? It was.
yeah, like what's called, Superman's costume looked a little off to
Maybe
me.
it's an elsewhere story.
I don't know where it
It came from. Okay.
No. It came from the New 52 JLA. That was like the first 6 issues of that.
Okay, I'm not reading that, so
So
I didn't read that.
So do you know if Cyborg's origin was accurate?
You know what? I don't remember.
Because basically just watched Justice League War and Son of Batman, and they basically just fucked Marv Wolfman, and in the sense of like they redid Cyborg's origin, and they redid what's his name, Deathstroke.
Okay.
Like basically characters that Marv Wolfman came up with, they said, fuck that shit. It had nothing to do with thing. It was just like,
Well, to be fair, Arrow did it too.
huh?
Arrow did that too.
Yeah, but the animated series is the animated movies have been much more accurate than Arrow ever was.
Speaking of animated, Young Justice is.
I watched it this weekend.
Young Justice is now on Netflix, seasons 1 and 2, and there's rumors that they might make a third on Netflix.
I heard that.
Yeah, trending right now is something like Watch Young Justice or something like that.
I tell you, Netflix has been amazing with just bringing things back.
Yeah.
Fuller
Yeah.
House.
That's
Starring
a
Jodie
porn
Sweetin's
parody
tits.
without the porn.
Yeah, man. There's
Yeah, in fact, we're getting together at Mark's house to watch the whole thing, right?
yeah, I'm alright with that. We're just gonna wear sweatpants and hang out, just enjoy the movie or show. But a friend of mine watched the show and he said it was pretty fucking bad. Like it was the
Fuller House.
Full House. Yeah.
No,
Full House.
what? It's actually pretty good.
But Jodie Sweetin's tits apparently were the main stars of it. You know.
Well, here's something interesting. It's like what's called like a lot of people were saying it's a bad series,
But
but they had to have
watched
watched
There's a
it.
lot of people
A lot
watching
of people
it.
did watch it. They got renewed for a second season.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Netflix got the green light for
what's
another
his
season.
name? Adam Sandler. He had like the highest viewed
Oh, yeah, that
movie
movie.
within a 30-day period
What was
ever
it called?
on Netflix.
Something six.
Ridiculous Six. And stuff like that. That movie is horrible. I didn't even finish it.
I started
I
it
didn't
too.
bother with it.
I
'Cause
started
actually,
it.
I got that confused with the Tarantino movie.
That-
Because they both came out at the same time. It's like, wait, which one is which? And it's like,
Wait.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did.
Furious 8 and you did
Furious 8?
No, sorry.
See, even you mixed them up, and you don't even know what you're talking about.
They
Hateful
came,
Eight.
out, they came out within like 2 months of each other.
Didn't
Like, I wasn't sure what movie was
Ridiculous
drooping
6 came
who.
out in the summer.
No.
No.
Oh, I'm wrong.
No.
Yeah.
I'm wrong. I'm
Maybe
curious.
October, November, something like
Yeah,
that?
that's what I'm saying. Like within 2 months of each other.
Oh, okay. I'm wrong. Well, anyway, Ridiculous 6, I started watching and I thought it was bad. It's one of those few movies where I thought the trailer was much better than the movie.
Can't argue that.
Yeah, I really thought this.
So bad.
I saw the trailer, I was like, wow, alright. Looks pretty interesting. You know, the amount of people.
By the way, all the stuff that was called, they said that was offensive for what's called Native Americans. I'm like, it was just bad comedy and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was just
like
an
what's called,
unfunny joke.
Yeah,
is what
it was just like what's called.
wasn't-
That's one of the things.
In my
that-
opinion, I just thought it was just a bad joke. I don't think it was like anything overly offensive and
When was the
whatnot.
last time Sandler did something funny, though?
Pixels.
Did you watch Pixels?
I am
Yeah.
going to see.
I enjoyed it.
Did you?
I enjoyed it.
Really?
For the okay.
Hold on,
watching
hold
it
on.
on television.
Hold on.
and not,
I have a question.
Yes.
Were you working while you watched it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, I may not have been. Now that I think about it.
Now that you think about it, you didn't think about it before you answered the question.
Yeah, not at all. It was on the television set, so I was watching it more so than I would be if I was at it on the computer because I wasn't sitting at my desk. I enjoyed it.
No,
I think
I'm
I
not-
watched it twice.
I'm not arguing whether you enjoyed it or not, but very often certain things that you enjoy, I've noticed that you watched while you were working, and I tend to when I work, I tend to put on stuff I already know, so that I can just play in the background. So
I've
I don't-
actually stopped doing that.
I don't watch new stuff because I end up not paying attention to it. I'm just guesstimating at what the plot was and stuff like that.
My new thing for the year is I'm not watching something I've already seen.
Why not?
Because there's like things that I've seen so many times. It's like, let me try new things. Let me try stuff I've never seen before. So I've been doing that this year. But just every time I put something on, I'm watching something brand new. Now, I'll watch shows like Arrow and Flash to continue the series. But movies, I haven't been putting any movies in I've seen before. I'm just
So like if
checking
they come
out
on, do you
new
like throw the
stuff.
monitor away? What happens?
What was that?
If like a movie you've seen before comes on, do you just like what's going? Get that shit out of there.
No, because I'm watching it on either
Netflix or Hulu.
Netflix.
He's
Hulu,
choosing what he's watching.
Stars.
It's
I'm
not-
what I'm choosing to watch are brand new things. Just
How's that working out for you?
I'm watching a lot of crap I don't like because it's like this is new. I
Because
never
he's
heard
old
of it.
and he's new, and it's new. So
No, but it's like I'm trying new things.
You're not old. It's not new.
I'm not old,
Where's
I'm
the
not
argument there? I want to see what you're arguing.
I'm trying new stuff to try it because
No,
there's
no.
a lot of stuff out there that I haven't tried.
You said you're not old, and I'm looking at your gray hairs
Well,
and your
that
face.
gray hairs it just means I'm becoming a wizard.
anyway, so
Mhm.
Deadpool was good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a great deal.
So do we all agree that was a helicarrier?
Yes, because even the concept art had it as the helicarrier.
Yeah, because it's like there are
Oh,
no other vehicles with jet engines on the side.
Hold on. There's a bunch of stuff in there that they did that's what's called like kind of stolen. Something like if you haven't watched the movies, what's wrong if you go fucking watch it now? Bob should not be allowed in there, but Bob was in there.
But a Bob was in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they put Bob in there because there's a character named Bob, Agent of Hydra. But they can't have Bob, Agent of Hydra, in a Deadpool movie, so they just call him Bob and stuff like that. But I
Yeah.
mean, that was the Bob character.
Yeah. It was a good movie. It was really.
I
I
like-
mean, one of the crazy things about the movie for me was just that, like the jokes per minute. They really came
saw
so
it-
fast.
It was
I
like
saw
a
it
shotgun
twice.
version of joke making.
I saw it twice, and the second time was called. I enjoyed it even more because I was able to catch the jokes I missed
Yeah.
the first time.
Yeah, I
I
wanna
lost
see
a lot
it
of the
again
jokes.
because of that. But I like the little changes that they made into the Deadpool lore in the sense of that bar was a great idea.
Yeah,
You know, that they took the Weasel character and made him a better character in that aspect. I thought that was a cool thing. You know, that
To me, the Weasel character was more along the lines of what's the guy's name from Spider-Man and Daredevil? Who's Turk, yeah. I've always kind of associated my brain like Weasel and Turk to be kind of along the same type of like. BS.
Weasels always struck me, and every time I've read them, like it was called a bad version of Chip from Punisher.
Yeah.
Like it was called
From
guy,
Microchip?
Punisher.
right, Michael.
Like what's called just a guy who does help him, but he's not great at stuff and stuff like that. So,
It's a good segue. What do you think about like the upcoming Daredevil series? Do you think that like with Punisher, do you think the microchip might show up? Do you think that Punisher's going to be a?
I think they're gonna because Chip came in later, so I think that was called. I think they're gonna introduce. I think they're actually gonna introduce Punisher's origin in here
Yeah.
because Daredevil can tell a story a certain way, I think that was called. We're gonna see.
Should that thing be off?
Sorry about that. We just lost a camera, so what's called?
We have to check it. Punisher.
Yeah.
In the new Daredevil series.
I think because, like I said, because Daredevil is so long and it can tell the narrative in a way unlike regular regular TV. I think we're gonna see his origin, and I think we're gonna see what's called
the Punisher's origin.
Right.
Well, the trailer hints to that. Which the trailer you didn't watch.
Yeah, so I wouldn't know about that.
Yeah, I have.
I'm just making conjecture, but what's called and because of that, I don't think they're gonna introduce Chip. I think he is gonna be the lone gunman to begin with.
No, I agree. I was just
Everything
wondering.
I've seen makes me think that.
Lone gunman and whatnot.
Do you think?
I try not to. It hurts.
Like Alias, are they going to introduce other Marvel characters, or is it just going to be Daredevil, Punisher for this?
Well, we know that
series?
they're introducing Elektra.
we know Elektra.
pictures
We
of her.
know.
And that's 2 new characters right there.
Right.
I don't know if it's gonna be crossover.
They haven't said as far as like the main villain series, because I'm not.
I think
say
Punisher's gonna be the villain.
Okay.
I think what's called Punisher first came out as a villain. I think Punisher's most effective as a villain. That's why the idea of him doing a series like that was being bounced around when he was announced. I was like, that I don't like that idea because I think
it's tough to make Punisher the star in a type of movie because it's tough to tell that story. You know, not a lot of people are on board with it. I liked Thomas Jane's Punisher with John Travolta. It was an enjoyable movie. Again, it's an origin story. It's fine.
In Miami.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. I mean, it was a fun enough movie, and I liked it. It was good. I never saw Warzone, but I heard I didn't miss much. Which was
I think I literally fell asleep watching it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, like what's called not in the theater. I saw it like on cable one night.
Yeah.
And it.
Yeah, I heard it just kind of just didn't do much. But the first Punisher was fine. Even Dolph Lundgren's Punisher was okay, I guess. You know, I mean, for the time. But again,
Couldn't wear a skull shirt.
Yeah, no, right.
I think you might have beer goggles for that one.
I think a lot of it's nostalgia because I mean, like, what is that?
You were a child.
I was 8 years old.
You're
I think.
Baby.
I think it was 8 years
What
old.
did you know?
Stop talking to my neck like that, Jesus!
Stop steaming out my
Look
glasses.
at me.
Yeah.
That's like being real.
I freely admit that like a lot of it's like nostalgia for that. Like even like the original shitty Captain America with the fucking shield on the motorcycle and stuff like that.
Nothing wrong with
Those were great. What are you talking about?
I
I
actually
actually
never-
never.
Shit, there's
I've actually
nothing
never seen
wrong
those.
with him.
You
What?
mean with Red Brown?
Yeah.
That's his name, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
remember his name. Yeah, there were 2 of them,
You
right?
don't know what you're talking about.
I believe there was 2 of
I
those.
believe-
There were
Again,
2.
I
Then there was
barely remember
then
that
there was
last-
one after that with the Italian Red
Red
Skull.
Skull.
That one was great because like, Captain America, he'd do this thing where he'd ask someone to pull over the car, and he'd get out and pretend like he was throwing up, and the person would come to help him, and he'd go get in the car and drive off. And he did it like twice.
I remember that. and what's called the throwing effect was so bad. They
Yeah.
literally like what's called he threw, and then it just cut to the scene of it spinning.
Yeah.
I don't even think there was a background.
I think a big part of it is like, nah, I'm not gonna say fucking. I was gonna blame it on the technology at the time. I was like, yeah,
that's
technology.
good.
It's like, no, it was a fucking shitty movie. But I think a big
The
part of it
fact
was
that
like,
he wore a mask with rubber ears.
I know. I think fans just wanted to see these movies.
But that's the thing. That's
really
what you got.
That's what you got, and you just accepted that, like, you know, Hollywood wasn't gonna make a big fucking motion picture out of this. You know, you just like, yeah, this is what we got. You know, Corman doing that Fantastic Four movie.
The Thing looked good in that.
The thing
That was
looked-
all the money was spent on
the thing looked
guy.
like the thing looked like something.
Yeah.
You're right.
But they
You were
were good
absolutely
for that time period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For that time period and for that budget, he looked really good.
Yeah, he did all right. It was pretty good. It was 93, 94? It
I
was,
don't even think it was that early.
You know, and around
So
that time
wait,
they also
I
made a
thought it was
Power
late
Pack
80s.
movie, and I still haven't found.
Oh,
that.
really? They did?
Yeah.
That I would love to fucking watch.
It was like filmed in Canada.
I'd fucking love to watch
It's like
that.
that girlfriend I had. She lived in Canada, so there's a Power Pack movie
Yeah,
somewhere.
Georgia Glass up there. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just basically because what we...
How'd you know her name was Georgia?
I think it's just because like we accepted that like as fans, like that's all we could get.
Well, I mean, that was the argument Wilson made when not Man of Steel. What was the one before that?
Superman Returns with
Superman Returns. That was basically Wilson's.
Brandon Ruth.
Yeah.
Ralph.
Wilson's attitude when I was like, I didn't like the movie, and he's like, what's cool? But it's Superman and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it was just like, He wanted
I see
Superman
less as it starts with comics.
but it was just like what's called that was
In our archive section.
the argument was that a lot of people were making like what's called it's the only thing we've got. It's been like 10 years since
More than
Clark
10.
Kent.
But come on, Superman returns.
Returns? Superman returns.
Superman returns. I mean, we still at that point we had Blade, we had 2 Spider-Mans, 3 Spider-Mans. Well, we're not gonna count
A
third.
Partridge in a Pear Tree.
We had 2 Spider-Mans. We had Blade. What else did we have?
We had X-Men.
We had the X-Men. We had a couple. I
We had
mean,
X-Men too.
yeah, we had some movies in there at that point. I mean, that
well,
we knew how to make
I've said
a comic book movie. so to
Bryan
speak.
Singer made X-Men 1 and 2 and then made Superman.
Yeah, I mean, like.
That
I
was
still haven't seen
that
it.
was all that told me was that Bryan Singer was a Marvel fan.
Still, since it starts with comics in 2006, I still haven't seen Superman Returns.
But you've seen Man of Steel.
I have seen Man of Steel, and I actually rewatched it recently. Honestly,
Man of
because
Steel?
yeah, I did rewatch Man of Steel, and honestly, a big part of that was kind of like wasn't as bad as I remembered it because I saw it once, and I was like drinking at the time when I first saw it, and like and I already had in the back of my head like people said they didn't like it, so I knew I was influenced when I started watching. So like I tried to have a more open mind about it. So I rewatched it, and it kind of made it even worse, I guess because I still knew the flaws that were there, and like I picked up on more stuff, and
Because you were sober, you could see more shit.
it's kind of honestly that's probably a little bit closer to the truth than I want to admit. But it really made it a lot worse, and it has an effect now where like I do want to see Batman vs Superman, but not because of Superman, because I want to see Ben Affleck's Batman.
Well, I was telling Wilson.
I want to see how he portrays it because the trailer made me think that he's gonna probably be a better Batman than Nolan.
Well, this is the funny
Than Nolan's Batman. excuse
Okay.
me.
Well, even Nolan just recently
I just
admitted
worked-
Nolan
Christian Bale.
admitted
Christian Bale did.
it was Christian Bale
Yeah.
admitted my
He didn't
Batman
like
wasn't
it.
that good.
Yeah, he straight up said that. Like Heath Ledger came on stage and like on screen and was just like, "Wow, he made Joker so much more interesting than I ever could with Batman." You know.
Well, that's the problem is that you playing Batman, you're playing the straight man. So I mean, like what's called, it's a harsher.
You're
road.
limited in what you.
But
can
I
do.
think like Michael Keaton did a great Batman. I think
Keaton made it more interesting than Bale did.
I don't know if
I
agree
like
with
Keaton's Batman.
I think I
Not
think
saying
I
that, like, he's
Keaton
better
better.
or
I'm
now.
not saying
but,
I'm not saying I don't like Keaton's Batman. I really do like Keaton's Batman. I don't know if I find him a more interesting Batman
To me, it's not
because
even more.
he was more enjoyable. I enjoyed him more.
To me, the comment was that it's hard to do the straight man. I'm like, I don't think it is. I think you could still do the straight man to Batman and
But
still be.
in the first Batman, I think Jack Nicholson stole the movie.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But even in Batman 2, Batman Returns, I thought it was still.
I never enjoyed Batman 2.
Oh, you did?
No, I thought what's called I thought
Returns.
Penguin and all of them. I thought they were done poorly and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, I liked him, but I think it was because like the.
I really
Burton was inside of his head and did like. All he needed was Johnny Depp in there to be. Anyway, Burton.
You haven't finished a single sentence.
Burton has a weird vision for certain things, and when
Yeah,
his
but I don't
vision
think
for,
he
like,
enjoyed the
God-
Batman character. I think he enjoyed the Joker character, and I think the what's called the Penguin and the Catwoman were just characters that were there. He did. I felt like
They were
he
corporately there.
maybe I don't know, but I felt like what's called he really liked the Joker. He liked that criminal calm and stuff like that.
Well, Jack Nicholson brought a lot to that character. I mean, it was just a lot that he.
But I mean, like what's called
But that's
we
a very
didn't
Tim
have.
Burton character.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: if you look very closely, we barely have a Batman origin in there.
Yeah,
We have,
but it's good.
No, I understand it. But the whole thing is, what's his name? Joker's origin.
Yeah,
And we get to really know the Joker. He becomes when focusing on the Joker, it allowed Batman to be. You know what? You know the Suicide Squad movie that they did, the animated one.
Oh yeah, amazing fucking movie.
Yeah, but
Guys, if you haven't seen that, go watch it. Get a
Batman
chance.
Assault on Arkham.
Assault on
Yeah.
Arkham. It's an
but
amazing
Batman's almost a
animated movie.
secondary character in there.
Yeah, and it's.
I kind of feel the same way with the Burton Batman.
I disagree with that.
I disagree too, but I understand your point. But I disagree. It's my thinking. Still, I still stay along the lines that you still can't do a straight man and make Batman be enjoyable. He doesn't have to be.
I didn't say he couldn't be enjoyable. I say it's harder as a straight man.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
And I'm not saying that's impossible. And I think that was called what's the name? Ben Affleck is going to do a great job. but I don't think I don't think bad behavior should be rewarded, and I think that was called Batman vs Superman is going to be bad. That's why I'm not going to go see it the first weekend. I'm not going to be part of that box office budget.
I want to see it because I think Ben Affleck. From what I saw in the trailer and from what I've seen of Ben Affleck and his commitment to it, I think he's going to do a good job. And furthermore, if Batman vs Superman does well, it'll do in line for the Batman movies.
You know what? I've seen 4 Transformers movies opening weekend. I have no shame as far as.
Seriously. I mean, the first Transformers movie was.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was enjoyable.
I really enjoyed it, and
I left feeling a lot better than I feel I should have looking back on it. But I enjoyed it
because it was the first time we got to see a Transformers movie like that.
Any Transformer movie that had.
The last movie was so shit.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
And it had the fucking Dinobots. I'm just going to hit you because of that. It had the fucking Dinobots. It had so much potential.
What's the name of the guy from with the dark hair and the glasses?
Stanley Tucci?
No. He was in
Steve Hawking?
Steve Hawking.
In the Transformers movie. In the Transformers movie. I think he worked for the NSA and stuff like that.
And which one? And all of them? Or?
First 3, I believe.
He was in the first 3. He worked for the NSA.
Although the third one, he had Alan Tudyk as his manservant.
Oh,
he wears glasses.
I know exactly.
No, the actor wears glasses. That's how I know him.
I know.
I'm thinking of the movies.
John Turturro.
Yes.
John Turturro. I loved him. I thought he was great. Alan Tudyk, I thought was great. Shia LaBeouf, I enjoyed in those movies.
Yeah, he was fine. He served a purpose.
The minute you took those guys out,
that's not the only thing that made the last movie bad. I'm just gonna say.
I don't know, because Kelsey Grammer should have saved that movie and he didn't.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say that like Mark Wahlberg did what he could with that, and I like Mark Wahlberg a lot. I think he was fine for what he did.
I like that his friend got killed because he was so annoyed. It's like I did not like him,
and
it
guy.
Made me
you know who that is, right?
like him in most of the other movies.
Not
but
Miller,
in Weasel,
it's CJ Miller. Yeah, it's CJ Miller.
I don't like him as an actor in many other things.
The
problem is that he always plays the asshole.
Wait.
I'm not gonna let you speak.
I have a question.
Yes.
Have you watched Silicon Valley?
Yes.
Do you enjoy him there?
He's just the
right... No. Answer the question. Yes or no. Do you enjoy him there?
Yes, he's a good asshole there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sometimes you got to play to your strengths to do a good job.
Right.
There is...
But I enjoy him so much as Weasel in Deadpool.
He has the best scene... Have you guys seen Silicon Valley?
Keep talking.
I haven't seen
it. I've seen it.
Oh, you seen it?
I have not seen everything. I've seen bits. I've seen a few episodes here and there, and a lot of stuff I've seen.
Did you see the slap?
No,
not the show.
I did not see that.
Not the show. The episode. Okay. Fuck it. If you haven't seen it, you can stop now. Let's go. I'm gonna.
We're a half hour into it anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, this will be the last thing. This is where I was hooked completely on the series. Like I enjoyed the series. I'm like really going for it, no problem. There's a scene where, the lead actor is trying to get Adderall for one of the programmers he's working with. He goes to one of the neighborhood kids and says, "Are any of you on Adderall?" It's like, "I'll give you money for it," and stuff like that. And they're like, "All right, no problem." One of them goes, "Yeah, I'm on Adderall. Give me your money." Takes the money. It's like, "Go." It's like, "What? I need Adderall." I was like, "No. What are you gonna do? Tell my parents that you just tried to buy drugs from me? Get the fuck out of here." He goes back to TJ Miller, and he's like a kid. He's like a little kid. He's like, "What's called? I tried to get it. They took my money," and it's like, and TJ Miller's like, "Which one?" And you just see him walking back to it and stuff like that. And he's like, "Which one did it to you?" And he points to him. He bitch slaps this kid. I mean, like he should have been out of the scene. It was
like that Batman Robin scene.
I was like, holy shit. At that point,
it's the kind of slap you really want to do to some people that you've meet on the street. Or, better yet, on the internet.
It's nuts. You don't. When do you leave? We had to come get you for this.
Yeah.
All right, on that note, we should probably end this.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
Have a good night, everyone.
We're out.
So for at the 8 Spot Podcast, don't wave over there.
There's no camera over there.
For the 8 Spot Podcast, I'm Wilson.
I'm Mark.
I'm Jay. I'm Eric. We're out.
Have a good one. We can't hear the theme song.
No.